me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. You could take a look in a book, that's fine. Or you could sit back, relax, and unwind and read me romance. Read me romance.
Welcome back, lady listeners.
Hey, lady listeners. Welcome to a brand new week at Read Me Romance. We have got a book called Trickier from Lana Ferguson, and I'm so excited to finally have her bring a book to the podcast so we can talk about her. I can't wait. So I've actually talked about her before. This was a couple of years ago when her book, The Nanny, came out. And I pulled this up because I wanted to see when this was published, like when it was first published. Oh my God, I have to go all the way down on this. Okay, it was April 2023. So, I mean, not forever ago, but a couple years ago. So, Ruby Dixon had gotten this book from her publisher from Berkeley and was like, she sent it to me and she said, you have to read this. Like, she literally gifted me the audio because she told me the premise and I'm like, I don't want to read it. And she's like, you have to read this. She was like, you are going to love this book. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Because the premise, and I told you about this, and I don't know if you remember, the premise is she's a webcam girl, and the guy, like, falls in love with her or whatever. And then, like, they end up, like, she shuts down her webcam thing or whatever because he doesn't, like, show or something like that. I don't know. Something happens and they, like, don't connect. And so she shuts her stuff down. And then the guy ends up needing a nanny, and he hires her, and they don't know that each other is the person that they were on there with. And so, but he has a daughter with a woman. It was like he was friends with in college. They had like a one night stand. They were never married. I'm pretty sure she's a lesbian in the book. So like it was just like a one-time thing, and they have a kid. And so he needs a nanny to help out while he like has this transition with work. And so he ends up hiring this girl, and then they figure out that they have this connection. And the dirty talk in it is so filthy and so good. It is, oh my God, it's so good. Like, I remember listening to this book and going, holy shit, like whispering it in the car, like while I was listening to it. It was so good. And I remember afterwards, I told Ruby, I was like, you son of a bitch. you had me on
What's
that one.
What's the name of that one?
It's called The Nanny.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the audio is so good on it too. So it's really dirty. It's fun. Like, oh God, it was a good time. Like, I just remember eating it up, and I was like, okay, I need everything she's ever written. And then, so she also has a hockey series too. That one I haven't read. But she just announced today that she has a new book in that series. It's like book 2 is coming in this summer or something. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I guess I have to read it now. Mm-hmm. But her other books that I absolutely love, the most recent one I talked about was Overruled. That's the one where they're both lawyers. And the page 1, they fucking the book starts with him inside her, and I was just like, yes, and let's keep going. But I love this because listen, he calls her Sour Patch in this one because she's like prickly and grumpy and stuff, and he's just like cocky and arrogant and just a huge dick to everybody but her. And like, but she's still like grumpy about it because everybody like thinks he's nice and stuff or whatever, but he's an asshole. I don't know, but I just love that he calls her Sour Patch, and it just pisses her off, and he keeps doing it, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. They're dynamic in that, like, the way they picked at each other, it was just so hot. I couldn't get enough of it. And it's like, she hated fucking him, but she kept doing it, you know? She would just show up at his house and just like, let's just do it. Let's just get it over with. Just, you know what to do. You know, just like mad about it. But God, it was hot. So that was the most recent one. And then the other one, I read this earlier. I think it was last summer, maybe. I can't remember when it released. It's called Under Lock and Key. And that one's the one like a romantasy where the guy is the Loch Ness Monster. And
I remember that.
Yeah. And it was really cute. Like, I had fun with that one. It was like I said, it's a romantasy. So it's kind of like, you know, he's a shifter and stuff. But it was really cute because she goes to this town to like, you know, find her family and stuff, and she ends up like falling for him, and you know, it has like this whole like really cool like underlying like fairy tale aspect to it as well that I really liked. So that one was super fun. And then if you like shifters, The other one is called The Fake Mate, and that one is hot as hell too. That one, they're both doctors, and they're both shifters, so it's like an Omegaverse thing. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't know that, like, she's an Omega, I guess. So, yeah, so, like, but she, like, goes into heat and stuff, and she's not mated, and so they pretend to be together because he's, like, an alpha that's, like, not married or whatever, and he's not supposed to be, like, in his job, like, I guess because they're considered, like, really aggressive or something. Mm-hmm. And so they find out that he's an alpha, and so they pretend to date, and then it, like, sends her into, like, a heat or whatever, and so then they end up having to have sex like crazy, obviously. So, I mean, it's filthy and fun, and it's really good. And the second book in that is coming out this December, too. So, and I have that one already, and it's so good. So, but yeah, I mean, she writes, like, her books are really, Lana's books are so fun and dirty. So, I mean, I just, can't recommend them enough. So, but we'll talk about her in a little bit now that I've gone on a whole tangent about her. So, before we get caught up in that, what's going on? How are you doing? Did you, by chance, get it to look up your Kindle books from last week that we talked about?
Yeah, I looked up a few. I pulled them up.
Okay, tell me all about them.
Okay. I'm going to go, like,
not to put the pressure on you or anything.
All right, I'm going to give you, I want to preface this one. This is going to be like, you're looking for, it is a Harlequin. It's an old Harlequin, but it is put in KU. They've been sliding some of these old school with the red around the frame or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I'll have, like, the old Harlequin Presents and stuff.
I think that girl I follow on Goodreads must have recommended it somewhere. And you have a different tolerance when you read different things. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes.
You even have it for authors you love. You like put them to a higher standard.
Exactly. Yeah, where they're in their own category. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, well, they can do that because that's them.
But so that's what this is. This is like they're forced. It like starts out they're married. Mm-hmm. And she's like excited. She's like, maybe we're going to make this happen and whatever. And he's pissed because he was forced into marrying her. There's like a whole backstory. And he's mad. He's attracted to her. So he says some mean stuff and storms out. She takes all of her shit and leaves.
Oh.
Or whatever. And then so he's got to track her down. Of course, it's been years or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's just a dick coming to realization or whatever. But it's that whole Harlequin thing. Mm-hmm. Where you're
so over the top, so angsty, so and dramatic.
You're so angsty and mad at everybody. Like, bitch, why are you being stupid? Why are you being an asshole? If you shared 2 sentences, we wouldn't have this problem.
One conversation would solve this whole book. Yes.
But I think because I go into it expecting this, I'm like, okay, that was what I wanted for that.
I wanted it to be over the top. So, ridiculous.
And then I wanted to mention, I read a bundle.
Wait. What was that one, though? What was the one?
Oh, I didn't name it. That's right. No. Reclaiming His Runaway Cinderella.
Yeah.
By Annie West.
Annie West. Oh, that's a hell of a title. I love it.
Yeah. So, and then I read a bundle. Mm-hmm. It's Forever Bound by Cynthia Eden. It's got 4 books in there. It is like $4.99, I think, but it's a lot of books, 4 books complete, and they're all really quick books. I bet they're all like 25,000 words, 20,000 words, about the length of each of ours. And it's just a paranormal one. Like each one has like kissing Sleeping Beauty and the girl returning vampires, and he's a vampire, she's a werewolf, or whatever. They're just light, fun, quick reads, and I like that. Each one, when you entered it entered immediately, like with a punch. It was happening. Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel lost when we were thrown right on the page. I was like, okay, this is fun. It was dirty. It was paranormal. So you got that mate thing. And it was quick and dirty. And it had a plot.
Yeah. Cynthia Eden is great about that, about throwing in a plot and some filth and giving it to you like quick. That is such an art that I don't think people understand how hard that is to write a short story and to be able to give a complete story with a plot that's engaging
and not
fun.
Make it second chance romance.
Yep, that they haven't met before, that this isn't like, they are, already married or whatever. It's hard to do that, to have a couple start out, have insta love, make it somewhat believable. And even if it's not believable, make it entertaining.
Yeah. I've noticed, though, when some people do the shorter ones, it's always got to be second chance.
Mm-hmm. And then that's a hard limit for some people. And I know it is for you, because you're like, was there other women in between the second chance?
And they won't even tell you what happened during that time, except they were miserable without each other. I'm like, God damn it.
You're like, no, I needed explicitly said that he was miserable the whole time. Yeah. And he wasn't with anyone. You're like, I need that answered. So yeah, that is, Cynthia Eden has a great skill for doing that, of making something entertaining and fun and sexy in a quick read. I love that. Yeah. Well,
and I read the Daddy's Girl, or the Danny Watt Has Real Daddies. It's a series that there's like 4 books out.
Yes.
And each one is like a trope based: age gap, opposite attract, forced proximity, grumpy sunshine. It seems like each one has a couple tropes in it. Mm-hmm. So those are fun, and obviously Danny is always super dirty, and you have to like daddy kink. She makes
because she's gonna throw it in there. There's gonna be a lot of it. Yeah, this is not for the faint of heart. This isn't the first time. I like that though. Well, I started One Killer Night by Trelina Pucci, who that's my girl. I love her. I love Trelina. She's a mess, but she has this book called One Killer Night, and I just started it, and already I'm like, this is gonna be wild. I know this is gonna be so over the top and silly, but I love it. So far so good. The narrator's awesome, but she also had one that I read recently that the audio I think came out a while ago, but maybe I just like recently listened to it. But it's 3 Ways to Mend a Broken Heart, and that book is just front to back. It is, the whole book is just coming. It's like, if you want, I want to know how many hours this fucking book is. I should look and see, because it's just the whole time. I can't stress that enough. How long? Hold on, let me see how long this book is while I've got it up. Damn, 6 hours. Yeah, so that's a lot, but it was awesome. It was really good. It's about,
I like that it is 6 hours, but you thought it was moving so quickly.
Yeah, I actually thought it was like 2. Yeah,
that says something about it. That means it was
it was entertaining. It was really, so it's about these 2 football players that get it on with this girl, and so they go to Hawaii for this wedding for like friends of theirs, and her ex is there, and so she uses these guys to like make them jealous. And so I like that it's like the guys are over the top about this because they've always wanted her, and so this is like the perfect excuse for them to like be really affectionate with her in front of everybody, and just like, oh my God. Man, it is good, but it's real smutty. So proceed with caution. Also 10 stars.
You know what I've been watching this past week was I've been watching documentaries on Mount Everest, because I've landed on Everest Talk.
The side of Everest that talks, the side of TikTok that talks about the people.
Have you experienced it?
Yes. Well, I watched some documentaries on it because I just find it fascinating. Like the Sherpas, like their whole, like,
I didn't know anything about this.
Everything.
And I'm hearing all these people are dying on this mountain, and Mount Everest, and this many people dying. There's a bunch of people stuck up there. And then another TikTok pops up, and somebody's like, I don't know what all these people are doing dying up there. They're like, this isn't even top 10 hardest mountain in the world. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it's just the tallest. It's not the hardest.
Like, this isn't even that hard.
And you see the videos of it, and it's like people are just waiting in line. They're just standing there in this huge line to just get to the top and take a picture. It's like going to Disney World.
People pay $75,000 to go up a mountain. I thought the mountain was free.
Nope.
Maybe
it is not.
You know how you have to pay to park?
Yep. This is it. Well, and it's like, the altitude is what gets people a lot. So you have to go there before and get used to it before you can climb, or you can do it with oxygen. A lot of people do. But basically, you have to pay your Sherpa that's going to carry your gear and your oxygen. And they're just going to like go on an afternoon stroll up Everest without a coat on, without oxygen, and they're going to be carrying all your shit while you're just like dying as you're going up the hill next to them, and they're just like, come on.
And these Sherpas have a different breathing system than us. Their bodies have adapted. They don't need oxygen on the mountain.
Exactly. Well, they're from there. They were born there, that kind of thing. Like they're used to it. But, Americans are, whoever, other people from outside countries.
Because I was like, if somebody was like, Melissa, you're going to die or you're going to go on Mount Everest or pay us $75,000, you got to, I'm like, I'll pay you not to go.
Yeah.
I'll take out a load. I'm not going up that mountain.
No.
And I like the cold.
Well, and that's what they talk about too, is like the people that leave their trash and stuff up there, where like that's really bad about the people that go there and camp and just leave their shit.
Over dead people.
Yep.
There's like one girl called Sleeping Beauty that's been laying there for
because they can't go get them because they're just like it's unsafe to recover the bodies and take them back down, so they just leave them there. So it's like you're just gonna walk by the dead body and it's just gonna lay there frozen forever. Yeah.
But I've been watching all the documentaries and learning about all these mountains.
I love that.
I was just flabbergasted by this Mount Everest. I was sure it was the hardest mountain in the world. I was sure it was free.
Nope.
I was sure you'd have to pass a test to get on it.
No. It's not even like you don't even have to have like any kind of. I think you have to have a permit to do it, but that's what's part of the money is for, to have a permit to hike it. But it's like any other campground, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always amazes me. I think I'm so Americanized. I'm like, nobody gets to climb that mountain here. No, they're like, get down, all of you off the mountain. It's not happening.
Yep, you've ruined it for everyone. It's over. No, there's like, what is it, K12?
Yeah, the biggest K2.
One? K2, that's the biggest one. Yeah.
It's one of the hardest. Like, I think there might be one above.
Well, it's not the biggest, but it's the hardest, yeah.
1 in 4 people die on it.
And it's like there's one in Chile, right? There's one there. That's the big one.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I watched the 4 Peaks. Okay, so there's a documentary, I think it's on Amazon. It's the guy who does like the 14 highest peaks. And and I think, but some of them might switch up a little bit.
Yeah, because it depends on the time of year. Yeah.
Weather and stuff like that, which was super fascinating.
Yeah, because you can only climb K2. Like you get like a month out of the year or something where it's clear to climb it, and then like you have to be lucky, that the conditions are right when you go up, and then for you to stay and come back down. Because a lot of people go up, and that's how they die.
I remember them showing one. It looked kind of flat, and they were like, "This is the 3rd deadliest." I'm like, "Really? I feel like I can do that one." Like, that's actually the only one I thought I could do.
That get the 3rd deadliest.
I was just looking at it. I'm like, these mountains are deceiving this.
Yeah, it gives you a false sense of reality seeing it from the couch, I think. I'd love for you to go. I'd love to be beside you when you saw that in person for the first time. Do we know what? That would be an interesting reality check.
But I was like, I love that the internet is making climbing Everest not a flex anymore. People are like judging you now. Like you used to come home and brag, and people were like, "Oh, cool," but now that everybody's like, "There's something wrong with you. Eat the rich."
Right? Yeah. Eat the fucking rich. I'm serious. Like you got enough money to go do that.
I get that you guys aren't wealthy, but we're putting you guys on the Eat the Rich list.
Yes. You gotta go up there and shit in a bag. No thanks. No thanks.
I just thought it was wild because I was between Everest and the dough guy and Pizza Hut and everybody flipping the pizzas.
Yes.
Like, that's all my
that was your whole free page on TikTok.
Yeah.
Listen, I have been rewatching CSI Las Vegas.
Oh my God.
Listen, it's on Paramount Plus. Do what?
I think that Vegas one is the best one.
It is. So I watched it back in the day, but I did not get as deep as I am now back in the day. I apparently stopped watching it at some point around season 4 or 5. I'm on season 8 now. Okay. So it's on Paramount Plus, but Paramount Plus stops at season 8, I think, or season 7. The season finale of season 7 is a huge cliffhanger if somebody dies or not. And I was like, what the fuck? And then there's a huge gap until there's like season 12. And I was like, where is the rest of this? And I had to Google. It's on Hulu. So Hulu has all of them.
I finished the show.
Yeah, it's done now. Like it's not doing it anymore. At least the Las Vegas one is. I don't know if there's any more that have still kept going, but so I'm on like season 8 or 9 now, and I've kept going in it. But there are so many celebrities who got on there for the first time. Yeah. And they're so young. Like I was sending pictures to my husband. I was like in bed watching this and I was like, look at this. And it was like Walton Goggins. He looked like he was 19 years old in one of these pictures. And John Krasinski looked like he was 12 in one of these. And I was like, what are all these actors doing on here? But it was crazy. Like all the famous people that I've seen do this show. I was like, holy shit. Like Method Man's been in like 5 episodes. It's like, I never knew this. I would have watched this show a long time ago if I knew he was on it. I fucking love that man. Anyways, but I've been enjoying that. That's like my bedtime show. I put that on and usually watch 1 or 2 episodes right before I go to sleep. And it's been wonderful.
I'll tell you, I know you won't watch it, but the Salt Lake Housewives is the best reality TV that has ever lived.
What is this?
Like the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay. Is that like the Mormon women?
Some of them are Mormon, or they used to be Mormon, or they call themselves Mormon 2.0.
Okay.
But this is like even the people you don't like, you're like, nobody move this cast. I love to hate you. You're ridiculous. I mean,
really?
The last episode, if anybody's ever wanted to try out the Housewives, this is the show.
This is the one to get in. This is the gateway drug.
Okay. And there's not too many seasons already, but the whole episode, and you weren't bored, took place at one dinner table.
The whole episode?
The whole episode.
Wow.
These girls are going back and forth with different arguments. It is hilarious. And I was just like,
is there anybody I would know that's on there? Is there anybody like that would?
I don't think there's anybody iconic enough for you to know yet.
Okay.
Like I think you could picture other housewives.
Okay. They I just didn't know if it was anybody famous, like a celebrity or whatever. But like wasn't Denise Richards in a Housewives?
That is insane. I read those court docs.
Oh my god! By the way, did you watch the Charlie Sheen documentary?
I didn't watch it.
It was really good. I was shocked to see Denise Richards on there, and for her to be so honest about stuff that happened. I mean, I thought it was very interesting. Like it was captivating. He seemed very honest in his retelling, and they had other celebrities and family members come on and back up his stories. And I was like, I don't know why anybody would admit to the shit he's admitting to. And then for Denise Richards, at one point she gets really upset and she's like crying, and they're like, the guy beside her like, cut the camera, and she's like, no, I want them to see this. I want them to get the truth. She's like, if they're going to do this, then they need to get all of it. And she was like, it's important to me that they see this side of it too, because I didn't get to talk about this side back in the day, and then she talks about, what her and Charlie went through and their kids and why, because I remember it being a huge scandal that she left him when she was pregnant, and everybody was like, it must be bad that she's this pregnant and she's walking out on him. So it was like, I thought it was really insightful just into that whole pop culture moment with him and Tiger Blood and all the stuff and like the shit he was going through. And one interesting fact I took away from it was that they convinced his drug dealer to weaken the meth that they were giving him, because they said like he wasn't going to stop using it. He had been in and out of rehab dozens of times. They're like, he's going to do this until he dies. So they convinced his drug dealer to dilute the drug that he was giving him in order to wean him off of drugs. And that's what happened. That's how he got sober. Was he said he kept doing drugs and kept doing them. He was like, this isn't doing anything. I don't feel anything. He was like, oh, I've just come to the end of my drug use. And he was like, I guess I don't need it anymore.
He's like, I can do as much as I want. I won't even die. I might as well quit.
Yeah, he's like, what's the point? What's the point of doing all these drugs if I don't feel anything anymore? And it was like they tricked him into quitting. And I was like, that was the smartest thing I've ever heard of.
It was.
But yeah. Anyways. I don't know how we got on this though. Oh, the Real Housewives. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, that's all I wanted to say. If anybody's watching, it's just been incredible TV. I'm like, holy shit, I can't look away.
Okay. Did you watch the Mormon Moms?
No.
That was? Did you watch that one? Okay.
I don't watch that one.
You know, I went out to Salt Lake City to visit. This summer, I took my daughter out there. You know, our old neighbors. My daughter's best friend. Yeah, they used to live there. So we went out to Salt Lake City. And I don't know if I told you the story about going through the airport there, what happened. So, like, me and my daughter, like, we get there and we go through the airport and we go through security. And when we do, we go through these glass doors and there's, like, hundreds of young women with, like, signs up that are like, you know, I've waited like 380 days to hug you or something, and like, you know, like Brother Tom, and like it was like I thought there was a boy band, and so like they were waiting on a boy band, and so we walk through this group of like these hundreds of young girls standing up on these rafters and with these signs and stuff. We go through, and as we walk past, there's a flight attendant beside us, and my daughter's like, she's like, what is all this? And I'm like, I don't know. We hear them scream behind us, and they're like, ah! And we're like, and we jump, and the flight attendant beside me, she's walking past, she was like, only in Utah. And I said, what is it? I was like, who's here? And she was like, the Mormons. She was like, they're coming back from their service or whatever. What is it called when they go, they're
missionaries?
Yes. She's like, the missionaries are home. And I was like, what? And she's the missionaries. They're coming back from their service. And I was like, what? What is this? So we got there, and I was talking to my friend. And I was like, what is this at the airport? And that's when she explained to me. She was like, so when you graduate high school, if you're a boy, she was like, you either start like work right away or you do a mission. She was like, but everybody has to do some sort of service for 2 years. And she was like, most people choose to do the mission. And she said, most of the time it's not girls, it's just boys that go and do this. And she said, so like the girls are like waiting for them to come home, because when they come home they get married. And I was like, what? Again, I'm just young too. I know, like they're like 16, 17, like they're all so young. And I was like, what is happening? And she was like, yeah, she said, we're an anomaly with 3 children out here. She's like, everybody's like, oh, you guys gonna have some more? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, we thought 3 was way too many to begin with. She was like, but some of these people have like 5, 6, 7, 8 kids.
Very much about procreation.
Yes.
Baby, being the best mom. I mean, that was,
yeah.
To be frank, I have to be the best mom. I have to display as the best mom.
Yes.
Mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was just like shocked. I mean, it's a cultural thing. You know, I haven't grown up around Mormons. I wasn't, raised in that environment. So it was a culture shock to me to go through the airport and see that sort of like grandstanding event where I was just like, oh, I had no idea that this was a thing at all. And so she asked me, she was like, have you seen the, moms or Mormon moms or whatever? And I was like, no, I haven't seen the show. And she was like, we see them all the time around here. Like where she's at in Salt Lake City, I guess is a big area where they are. And she said, I see them all the time. And she said, they're like local celebrities and stuff. And I was like, what? That's so crazy. But I said, I don't know. I thought they were all sleeping with each other's husbands and stuff. I was like, I didn't think that was like part of the Mormon faith. And she's like, I don't know.
Some of them call themselves, like 2.0 Mormons, whatever.
Diet Mormon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, do you wear the underwear or not the underwear? It's like,
yeah, I got
not the underwear.
I got questions about that. Yes. Once again, I have lots of questions. But But no, I found all of that really fascinating. So when you said that about the Real Housewives, I was like, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, Mormonism is. I have a close friend that's Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
And we go back and forth on it all the time. We talk about it a lot, and we both watch a lot of the Mormon stuff. So it's interesting because she doesn't. What I know about Mormons, she's very different from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or I don't think we could be friends. Like that's what we align politically and all kinds of. I'll forget she's Mormon, but I think I forget because I don't. Religion isn't a thought in my everyday life, so it just doesn't. I don't compute it. It's not there. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We don't have a lot of Mormons here either, but I'm in Kansas City, and I think that they killed like Joseph Smith here.
Well, then I guess there's not many.
And so I think it's kind of like I think
they don't feel safe.
They're hidden because they have temples here. The huge temples are here, but I never meet anybody, and they're like, I'm.
It's probably really insular too, like the community and stuff. Like, but maybe that's part of it too. Like they just don't really venture outside of their community. Maybe like the Amish, where they're just like, no thanks to everybody else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Listen, let's talk about Lana Ferguson. I know we're running late. I'm sorry. We got really chatty. It's been a while. We're still catching up. All right. So we're about to let you play, or we're about to play for you, Trick or Sweet by Lana Ferguson. I'll read you her author bio. Lana Ferguson is a sex-positive nerd whose work never shies from spice or sass. A faded Fabio book cover found its way into her hands at 15, and she's never been the same since. When she isn't writing, you can find her randomly singing show tunes, arguing over which Batman is superior, and subjecting her friends to the extended edition of Lord of the Rings. Lana lives mostly in her own head, but can sometimes be found chasing her canine through the coppice of the great American outdoors. I don't know what the coppice means. I'm going to have to look that up. Coppice? Coppice? Maybe that's not a word. Am I saying that wrong?
I don't know. You're asking me? God
damn it, Lana. I'm going to have to get a dictionary now. Listen. All right, so this is not an ebook. This is only an audiobook. Trick or Sweet, she said she wants to expand the story and maybe release it next year. So what you're getting on the audio is it, and there's no ebook with it. This is an exclusive right now. If you want more from Lana Ferguson, you can follow her on Instagram at Lana, Lana Ferguson Writes. Her next release is The Mating Game. I've read it. It's fantastic. It comes out December 2nd. She sent me an early copy. She was like, here, you can make bitches jealous. I was like, you bet your sweet ass I will. Because I told her, I was like, what's the point of being friends if I don't get early copies?
I know.
Right? That's the whole point. So she said she'll be offering giveaways and stuff through her pre-orders at the Rip Bodice. You can check her Instagram for details if you want an early copy of The Mating Game. Or wait, if you want goodies through her pre-orders, check her Instagram. She'll have it on there. All right, so Trick or Sweet. Let's talk about what this is going to be. Here's the blurb. As a witch of the First Order, Annabelle's time is precious. But when her cheating ex invites her to his Halloween party that he's throwing with his new girlfriend, she refuses to let him think he's won. Scrounging up a date shouldn't be too hard with her powers, even if she has to resort to a less than approved methods. Unfortunately for her, the runes required to summon a crossroads demon are trickier than she expected, which becomes all too obvious when she accidentally summons the infuriating half-demon son of her supreme right to her kitchen table. Bastien is cocky, confident, and a little crass, but what can you expect from the son of an incubus? He's made it his mission in life to make Annabelle's life as exasperating as possible. So finding out that she's used forbidden runes to summon him on a date delights him to no end. He convinces her that he's the perfect man, sort of, for the job, and with few other options, Annabelle reluctantly agrees. The plan is to get in and get out, putting the entire night and her time with Bastien behind her as soon as possible. But when Bastien's flirting starts to feel a little too real, Annabelle questions everything she knows about the debonair half-demon. As the evening progresses and pretend kisses begin to lead to very real feelings, Annabelle must decide if Bastien's antics are all just a trick or if she's in for a very sweet treat. I love this.
I love that. It sounds
I
really
love it. It sounds so good that she's like summoned this date to make her ex-boyfriend jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ends up being like a half demon she falls in love with. Like, what could go wrong, right? That was my cat. That was my cat. She chimed in at the perfect moment. All right, let's play it for him.
All right, we'll see you guys on the other side.
This is Trick or Sweet by Lana Ferguson. Read for you by Marcella Black. Chapter 1. Look, summoning a demon for a date isn't what I'd call my finest moment. In fact, as a witch of the First Order here in Mayview, I can even guarantee it would be frowned upon by the rest of the coven. But none of those other witches have an ex like Kevin. Oh, he's everything one might want in a boyfriend. At first. There's the chiseled jawline, and the doting attention, and the dick that's nothing to turn your nose up at. But as it turns out, there's a lot more than that too. Because there's also the wandering eye, the secret flirty conversations with coworkers, the outright cheating, that prick. And I know what you must be thinking. Annabelle, what does your slimy ex-boyfriend have to do with summoning a demon? Well, since Mayview is about the size of my thumb and one of those everyone knows everyone types of towns, it means that when your douchebag of an ex runs into you at the grocery store and invites you to his Halloween bash, you ask something ridiculous like, oh, I don't know, can I bring my new boyfriend? Now, to be clear, I don't have a new boyfriend. Kevin and I have only been broken up for 4 months, and between my day job at the cafe I own downtown and the duties I have with the coven, I don't exactly have time to find another guy that I'm not related to in this thumb-sized town. Which is why I'm here now, sitting in the middle of my kitchen, down a half bottle of wine and short on my summoning herbs as I carve the runes required into an old cutting board on my kitchen table. Like I said, not my finest moment. I tell myself it will be worth it, that I'll offer the demon a favor in lieu of my soul. Surely one night out won't warrant eternal damnation, and an IOU will suffice. After all, I'm told my baked goods are to die for. Maybe the demon will like pie? It's entirely possible I haven't thought this through. I blame the wine. When I finish the last rune, I take a moment to assess what I'm doing here. I've heard of crossroad demons and their shrewdness, their ability to twist words and turn phrases to get what they want. But I like to think of myself as cunning as well. Kevin-related decisions aside. And if I can't get him to agree to my deal, then I'll simply banish him back to wherever he came from. No harm, no foul. With that in mind, I start the chant that will activate the runes, sweat gathering at my temples from nerves as the jagged carvings begin to glow a faint pink that would almost be pretty if it wasn't so ominous. Because that soft glow is the harbinger of something dreadful. This I know, and I'm sitting here in my kitchen, prepared to ask it to be my boyfriend for a night. The glow becomes harsher, filling up my kitchen and washing it in its light. I shield my eyes from the brightness, covering them with my forearm as a wind from nowhere starts to howl, making my pots and pans that hang above the counter clack together in a riotous way. My black hair whips around my face as the howling becomes a roar, my table vibrating and a warmth beginning to fill the space, which makes my sweating problem more pronounced. I'm almost at the moment where I'm about to stab through the runes and call this whole thing off. But then the howling ceases and the glow fades, and I'm left with nothing left to do but pull my arm away and look at the consequences of my actions. The consequences of my actions, as it turns out, is fucking hot. And what's worse, I already know him. The demon, or should I say half-demon, that sits cross-legged in the middle of my kitchen table is hulking in his human form. Even sitting, he's well over 6 feet tall.
His stark white hair falls in luscious waves around his ears, his pale skin glinting with lilac patterns that twist and turn up his arms and over his throat like intricate tattoo work. It's a visage I've met on several occasions, given that this particular half-demon is the son of my supreme and a general pain in my ass. He's constantly inserting himself into my business when we happen to be in the same room, which is more than I'd like, considering he often visits his mother when I'm there on first-order business. For no other reason that I can assume but to annoy me. Bastien, I say tightly. Hello there, pet. He practically purrs, his voice like velvet. Would you be so kind as to tell me what I'm doing here? I sit up straighter in my chair at the sound of his voice, clearing my throat and trying not to stare too hard at the beauty of his features. I was trying to summon a crossroads demon. Ah, he chuckles. Seems you might have been off a few runes. My runes are fine, I tisk. Well, perhaps you just had me on the brain when you performed the spell. I know it must be hard to expel me from your thoughts for too long. I narrow my eyes. I assure you, I wasn't thinking of you. He gestures to himself, still sitting cross-legged on my table. Tell that to my person, who is here, in your kitchen. He crosses his arms then, regarding me. What did you need with a crossroads demon, anyway? That's none of your business, I splutter. Oh, come now, he says teasingly. I'm already here. You might as well spill. I'd really rather not. Ah, but what would Mother think of you summoning demons in your kitchen? I don't recall you having the proper clearance to do so. I scowl. You wouldn't. Oh, I might. He sings songs. That is, unless you want to tell me what you are doing. I can be known to keep secrets for the right price. And I don't want to think about what his price might be, given that Bastien's father is a well-known incubus who most of the coven speculates is still very much involved with his mother. But I do believe that he would absolutely rat me out to Victoria if I don't tell him what's going on. He's kind of petty like that. I sigh, rubbing my temples. I needed someone to accompany me. Oh? His brows shoot up as a grin overtakes his face. Surely you don't mean to go to your former boyfriend's party tonight, do you? I purse my lips. Bastien has made it clear on several occasions what he thinks of Kevin, and he wasted no time after finding out that we were over to tell me that he was right all along. I swear, he loves to torment me. I already know this little encounter is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. It's not a big deal, I mutter. That is priceless, he guffaws. You used restricted magic to summon a date. Yeah, laugh it up. I get it. I'm pathetic. Can you just go back to where you came from now? He looks from me to the room as he rests his chin on his fist, his elbow propped against his bent knee as he studies my tiny kitchen with mild curiosity before his piercing red eyes settle back on me. But I'm already here, Annabelle. Why not take me? I wrinkle my nose. You are the last person I want to take with me. I'm wounded, he says with a pout. And here I thought we were close. Yeah, you're delusional. Oh, come on. Who better to help you snub your cretin of an ex than a bona fide incubus? Half incubus, I remind him. He waves his hand. Details. The point is, no one oozes sex appeal like I do. No one has a bigger head than you do, I scoff. I could definitely show you if you'd like. You won't be showing me anything if I do this. But Annabelle, he pouts, These sorts of things must be sealed by a deal. You know that. Well, that is not on the table. Of course not, he says, knocking the top of my table with his fist. Currently, I'm on your table. Hysterical. How do I know you won't embarrass me? I'm still bound by demon law. You know that. If we strike a deal, I must honor it. Damn it. I can't believe I'm even considering this. But the truth is, it does feel a little less daunting thinking that I might attempt this with someone I know rather than a veritable stranger. I take a deep breath, expelling it slowly. All I can offer you is a favor, I tell him. A favor, you say? He says with an almost sly grin. How interesting. And you think I would be enticed by such a deal? My magic is powerful, I assure him. I mean, I managed to trap you here, didn't I? It couldn't hurt to be owed by a witch of my caliber. I do so like the idea of your favor, he says, his eyes passing down the length of me in a way that has me suppressing a shudder. Stupid incubi. And what all might you expect in return, pet? My nose wrinkles at the endearment, but I remind myself I need him, letting it go. I need you to accompany me to an event and act as my paramour, that's all. Just be a doting boyfriend for one night. To be clear, a date, he says with a smile. You want to go on a date with me. His obvious amusement makes me scowl, feeling more pathetic than I already do. Look, will you take the deal or not? I can banish you back to wherever you came from if all you're going to do is laugh at me. Oh, no, pet, he coos. I think I'd rather enjoy your favor. I would be delighted to accompany you. Really? It's that easy? I narrow my eyes. I mean it, I press. Sex isn't on the table. Yes, so you've said. He waves me off. If you think you can resist me, then so be it. I hold out my hand, offering it to Bastien to shake so that we might seal the deal. He eyes it for a moment, then lifts his own hand, each finger tipped in pointed nails that are the same pale purple as his patterns, sliding his warm palm into mine and gripping it tight. I suppose we have a deal then, he says, a strange smile on his mouth. I nod back dazedly. We have a deal. When he draws his hand from mine, he lifts it to bring his fingers to my chin, causing me to suck in a breath as the searing heat of them seeps into my skin. I think I'll quite enjoy your favor, he hums again. No sex! Sure. He grins wide, revealing his sharp fangs. Whatever you say. Well, fuck me. Actually, I'd better not say that. I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, pet, he says sweetly. I wonder to myself if I'm as cunning as I first thought. Chapter 2. It's actually a misconception that a crossroads demon has to be summoned at a crossroads. But in my case, I'm wishing that I had taken the extra step and done this the right way. An incubi, even a half one like Bastien, is not something I planned on, and admittedly, I know there's only one thing he could be interested in, and it's not a fucking IOU. Or maybe it is a fucking IOU, but that's not what I planned on doling out tonight. I think I enjoyed your house better, Bastien complains. I ring the doorbell to Kevin's place. Yeah, well, that's just because you're trying to get into my bed. And can you blame me, pet? He reaches out to let his fingers tease my hip. You are one of the most delectable little witches I've ever encountered. Stop that, I hiss, slapping his hand away. I told you, we're not going to— Kevin! The door swings open to reveal my cheating ex. who gives me a flippant smile as if he didn't fuck his co-worker right under my nose only a few months ago. "Annabelle," he greets. "Hi, so glad you could make it." He notices Bastien then, his brows rising. "And this is..." Thankfully, Bastien was able to glamour away his patterns, leaving him as nothing more than an overly pale, red-eyed hottie in his frilled shirt and leather pants. So, basically, still eye-catching as fuck. "Bastien." My fake date practically purrs as he extends his hand. "So lovely to meet you." Kevin arches a brow at Bastien's honeyed tone, but still holds out his hand to shake as he forces a smile. "This is Bastien?" My brows lift. "What?" "I mean, you talked about him all the time." Kevin laughs. "I guess it makes sense you're seeing him now." My mouth drops open, and I can practically feel the glee radiating off Bastien beside me. "Aw, pet," he coos. "You talked about me." I only talked about how annoying he was," I argue. Kevin chuckles. "Yeah, but it felt like when a boy pulls on a little girl's pigtails at the playground sort of thing. Anyway, it's good to meet you, man." "Good to finally meet you as well," Bastien says sweetly. "I've heard so much about you." Kevin bobs his head as I try to resist elbowing Bastien in the side. "I love your costume. Are you a vampire?" Bastien scoffs as if he's about to protest, but I'm already leaning into him, pressing my palm against his chest and letting my head rest on his shoulder. "He is," I answer for him. "Isn't it great?" Bastien immediately takes advantage of my closeness, curling his hand around my hip and squeezing. Yes, anything for my sweet little witch." Kevin eyes my witch's hat then, smirking. "Didn't put much effort in this year, huh?" I want to tell him that I put more effort into my costume than he did our entire relationship, but I bite my tongue, a little more than distracted by the way Bastien's fingers have begun to caress my hip. "Oh, you know," I shrug. "Too on the nose?" "Nah, I like it." He waves his hand. "You guys can come in. There's already a lot of people here. Greta's making punch in the kitchen." Greta. I have to force my face into an expression of nonchalance. I guess we're all just going to pretend Kevin didn't cheat on me less than 6 months ago with Greta. Bastien, as if he senses my discomfort, urges me forward by sliding his hand to my lower back, applying a gentle pressure. "Let's party then, I suppose," he hums. Kevin leaves us to our own devices once we're inside, saying something about helping Greta in the kitchen. Bastien waits about 4 seconds after he's left to start in on his nonsense. "So, you talked about me, huh?" "I told you," I huff, "only about how annoying you are." Keep telling yourself that," he teases. He glances toward Kevin's retreating figure. "I still can't believe you dated him." His nose wrinkles. "He smells of protein powder and cooked spinach. You're far too lovely for him." I know that it's all a tactic to get me into bed so that he can feed from me. But still, it's been a while since I've gotten a compliment, and I feel myself blushing anyway. It's not the first time Bastien has flirted with me, but I'm more than certain that Bastien flirts with everyone. I know not to take it to heart. I scuttle out of his hold, my skin tingling where he touched me. Yeah, well, hindsight is 20/20, I suppose. "His house is not as cozy as yours either," Bastien points out, looking around the space. "Honestly, wouldn't you rather find a closet so that I can stick my tongue in your..." "No," I huff. "Now come on, let's mingle long enough to prove I'm not moping at home in shame, and then we can get out of here." "Oh, I do rather love the idea of getting out of here with you." "You'll be going back to wherever you came from after this." Bastien gives me a sly look before he reaches out to boop my nose. "We'll see about that." And then he turns, practically skipping away towards the sounds of the party. leaving me to follow after him in a tizzy. I didn't expect there to be so many people here, I murmur, clutching my glass of punch as I stay glued to Bastien's side. The demon in question braces himself with one hand on the snack table behind us, looming over me. Not a people person. It's not that, I frown. It's just that literally everyone here knows that Kevin cheated on me and dumped me. It's embarrassing. Now, pet, he coos. Anyone with eyes can see that he's the one that made a massive mistake. I scoff. You're just saying that. Hardly. I met this Greta, and she doesn't smell half as lovely as you do. You're kind of obsessed with the way I smell, I accuse. Completely, he says without pretense. I can honestly say I've never scented anything like it. He leans in a little closer. Would you like me to describe it to you? I swallow thickly. No, thanks. Maybe we should dance instead. The music is thumping as people writhe on the dance floor, and while it isn't exactly my idea of a good time, it might show some of the other partygoers that I am, in fact, not sitting around wallowing. I would love to dance, Bastien says, making me half rethink my decision. Behave, I tell him. He grins, showing off his fangs that look a little too real to be called part of his costume. No promises. I roll my eyes, grabbing his hand and dragging him behind me as I make my way out onto the dance floor. I notice Kevin and Greta across the way. Greta grinding her ass against Kevin's hips as he holds her waist, and I wrinkle my nose with distaste as I contemplate how to follow that. Unfortunately, the DJ doesn't really give me much time to consider it, fading the pulsing song into something slower, leaving me standing on the floor with my fake, half-demon boyfriend without a clue what to do. Bastien reaches to gingerly take my hand. Are you nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm not the best dancer, okay? Ah, well, I happen to be excellent at dancing, he says, taking hold of my hip and tugging me against his front. Just follow my lead. He proves his claim when he starts to move us back and forth expertly, one hand on my waist and the other clasping my palm as he allows us to sway. There you go, he praises quietly. You've got it. I clear my throat, needing a distraction from the warmth of his solid chest that's pressed against mine. So, what were you doing before I summoned you anyway? Mostly nothing, he tells me. I was rather bored before I wound up in your kitchen. Business has been so slow, you see. Business being sex, I deadpan. Precisely, he says with a grin. It's all become somewhat dull, truth be told. What? I pull back to peer at him with narrowed eyes. You're telling me you're bored of having sex? It's all too easy, really. He sighs. I'm irresistible, you see. Takes the fun out of it. You're not as irresistible as you might think, I scoff. He only grins wider. And that is precisely why I find you so fascinating. Anyone else would have never left the house with me around. We'd still be in bed. Wow, with an ego like yours, I can't imagine how anyone could ever resist you. I assure you, he murmurs, bringing his mouth to my ear. It's well warranted. I shiver despite myself, because as I said, it's been a while. And I have to remind myself that this is a demon, that his entire purpose is to get me into bed so that he can feed off my energy. It's all part of his ploy. Your Kevin is watching us, Bastien tells me quietly, his voice still rumbling against the shell of my ear. Shall we give him something to think about? I suppose you'd like to get naked right here on the dance floor? I was thinking of just a kiss, he says innocently, Nothing too salacious about that. What better way to prove that you're over him? You're manipulating me right now, I tell him flatly. Maybe a little, he chuckles. Is it working? I glance to my right, noticing that Kevin is watching us. A little furrow at his brow that makes my chest puff up a little. I reason that it would be the quickest way to prove that I'm not still mooning after him. But I can't forget who I'm here with. And who is to say you won't use your sex magic to make me want more? Bastien full-on laughs then. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that, pet. I can only take what you're willing to give. You're lying. I would never. I frown up at him when he pulls back, peering down at me with those blood-red eyes that seem to sparkle in the dim light of Kevin's living room. Call it my favor, Bastien urges. A kiss for my services. You would take a kiss instead of a real favor? Did you forget the part where I'm a member of the First Order? I could do 100 things more helpful than just kissing you. Ah, but you see, pet, Bastien hums, his eyes on my mouth. I'm dying to know if you taste as sweet as you smell. I feel his thumb stroking the back of my hand, his gaze going hooded. Truth be told, I've wanted to know for a while now. You're just saying that, I grouse. Annabelle, he says firmly, have I ever lied to you? I suck in a breath as I stare up at him, trying to discern if he's being serious or not. It's true that Bastien flirts with me constantly, that he never misses out on a chance to make me uncomfortable by telling me how good I smell. But he's like that with everyone, isn't he? You really like the way I smell? It's irresistible, he tells me. I have to assume that your taste is much the same, and if a kiss is the only way I can affirm that, then a kiss is what I want. I swallow thickly, more than a little worked up at the idea of kissing Bastien. He might be a thorn in my side, but he's also a very hot thorn in my side, something that I've never failed to notice, as much as it pains me to admit. No tricks? Cross my heart, love. Love. I know he's just plucking at my heartstrings right now, but I'm lonely, okay? Sue me. I swallow again around the growing lump in my throat, glancing back around at the numerous couples still shuffling to the slow song playing on the speakers. No one really seems to be paying attention to us. Even Kevin has gone back to talking quietly with Greta on the other side of the dance floor. But I have to admit, a kiss would be the easiest way to pay Bastien back. It would guarantee that he wouldn't come knocking on my door in a month, asking me to do something horrible. And that's worth it, right? Fine, I grumble, but no tongue. No deal, he says immediately. What? If I'm going to kiss you, Annabelle, there will be tongue. I want to taste, remember? I have to suppress another shiver at his words, hoping beyond hope that he can't tell how flustered those words made me. Whatever, I sigh, but make it quick. I feel his palm against my cheek then, turning my face up to meet his as he studies my mouth. I can feel the soft prick of his sharp nails against my skin, and instead of frightening me, as would be the proper reaction, I feel a fluttering in my stomach, wholly enraptured by the way he's looking at me. He's looking at me like I'm something he wants to devour, like I'm absolutely something he wants to taste. I can't promise this will be quick, he mumbles, just before his lips descend to mine. My first reaction is that he tastes sweet. His lips taste like honeyed wine, and when his tongue sweeps across the seam of my mouth, urging me to open, it almost feels like I could get drunk off it. I whimper despite myself when his tongue touches mine, my hands coming up to grip his stupid frilly shirt as I press up on my toes for more. I could reason that it's simply been a long time, that I'm starved for affection. But the truth is, Bastien is an excellent kisser. He owns my mouth like he has every right to it, tongue tangling with mine again and again as he catches my needy little sounds and swallows them down. I'm fully aware that there are people all around us, that everyone can see exactly what a mess he's making of me. But by the grace of whatever sex magic he's wielding, I can't find it in me to care. I actually whine when he pulls away, chasing after his lips with mine as he hums his approval. If I wasn't so suddenly turned on, I might even be embarrassed by that. So sweet, Bastien says softly. Just like I thought. And then we're back to dancing as if nothing happened. And I'm left with a thudding heart and a pulsing pussy as I try to make sense of what just occurred. It had to be his magic, right? Surely he was just blowing smoke up my ass when he said all that "only take what I'm willing to give" crap, right? Because otherwise, why would I be so worked up? I clear my throat, trying to get a handle on my feelings. I can't believe that's what you wanted as payment. Oh, I assure you, pet, he says sweetly. It was well worth it. He leans in close. And just between you and me, I can smell how wet you are right now. I press my legs together instinctively, but he's still talking. I could take care of that, you know. I could do it here in this house. What better revenge is there than fucking your new paramour in the old one's house? We can't. Oh, I assure you, we can. He cuts me off. I can ensure that no one will stumble across us. He bares his fangs again in a toothy smile. You forget who you're with, I think. I square my shoulders. I think I need a drink. I scurry away from the tempting incubus before he can attempt to persuade me again, marching in the other direction as my face flushes and everywhere below the waist throbs. I can't guarantee I wouldn't have agreed to Bastien's proposition had I stayed there with him for even another second. Which should be a lot more worrisome than it currently feels like it is. Chapter 3. I'm still breathing a little too hard as I approach the punch table, trying to forget the feel and taste of Bastien's mouth on mine. I can't pretend I haven't wondered before what it might be like to kiss him. He is half incubus, after all. It's kind of in his nature to be sexy. But he's usually so insufferable that I can push the thought away. Truth be told, I've wanted to know for a while now. I can't help but get stuck on that, wondering if it's true or if it's just another tactic to get me into bed. It's eating away at me as I pour myself a glass of punch, trying not to scowl as I remember that it was Greta that made it, because it's actually pretty good. I turn back towards the dance floor to find Bastien missing now, and a quick scan of the room finds him talking to a pretty blonde on the other side of the dance floor, laughing at something she's saying. I won't pretend it doesn't make my stomach twist, seeing that, and I can't even fathom the reason why. I don't care what Bastien does. Sure, he bothers me to no end, and I constantly wonder if he's ever been genuine with me in all his flirting. But that doesn't mean I like him or anything. I can't like him. That would be ridiculous. I'm startled from my thoughts when a deep voice sounds right next to me, almost spilling my punch with the way I turn to regard my ex standing close, giving me an easy smile like we're some kind of friends. Which we definitely aren't. Having fun? He asks. I shrug, taking another sip of my drink before I answer. It's all right. I'm really glad you came, Kevin tells me. I arch a brow. You are? Well, yeah, he says. I mean, I guess I felt really guilty since everything went down. You mean since you cheated on me? I remind him flatly. He has the good sense to look sheepish. Yeah, that. I've felt really bad about it. Well, if you're looking for me to tell you that you shouldn't, you're barking up the wrong tree. No, I know, he answers glumly. But, I don't know. I guess it never felt like we ever had any real spark, you know? So you're saying that justifies you cheating on me? Well, no, he sighs. I didn't mean that. I just meant, you talked about that Bastien guy every other day. You'd get more excited about talking about him than you ever did talking about me. I told you, it's just because he's so annoying. Kevin chuckles. Whatever you have to tell yourself. Are you really trying to turn this around on me? You cheated on me. And I fully own up to that, he says. But Greta and I don't know, it felt inevitable, you know? You have to admit, it never felt that way between us. I gape at him, trying to discern if he's really trying to make his cheating into some sort of good thing, all while holding myself back from throwing my drink in his face. I feel my cheeks heating with anger as Kevin continues to stand there, looking like he's just dropped some sort of universal truth on me, clenching my fist at my side. Anyway, Kevin says, I just wanted to tell you I'm really happy for you and Bastien. I'm really glad everything worked out. I feel something crumple inside me, because it's hitting me all at once that this thing that Kevin is placating himself with is entirely fake. I don't have a new boyfriend. There's no one waiting for me at home. I have been wallowing alone ever since I found out about Kevin's cheating. Right, I manage quietly. Thanks. And maybe I should throw my drink in my face, but I think in the long run, it won't make me feel better. It won't make me feel any less alone than I do right now. So I excuse myself quietly, setting my half-empty cup on the punch table and walking away with no particular destination in mind. I move past the dancing couples and even the outlying crowd chatting on the sidelines, making my way to the hall past the stairs so I can collect myself somewhere quiet. I lean against the wall, letting my head rest there as I breathe out a labored breath. I can't help thinking about what Kevin said. Was there really no spark between us? Was that my fault? I mean, we weren't mauling each other every day like he and Greta seemed to be, but I thought we were all right. Apparently, though, I didn't have the slightest clue about us. After all, Kevin must have been pretty unsatisfied with me to find someone else like he did. He sure as hell seems happy now. With Greta. Annabelle? I turn my head to find Bastien approaching, his brow knitted with concern as he comes closer. Are you all right? I'm just doing some of that wallowing I said I wasn't going to do. I mumble. His eyes turn hard. Did Kevin say something to upset you? Why do you care? Because I don't like the idea of you being upset. He takes another step, reaching to touch his fingers to mine. What did he say? Oh, nothing much. Just that it's apparently some sort of cosmic fate that he cheated on me, because there was never any real spark between us. He said that. Might as well have. Do you want me to break something of his? Maybe his fingers? I chuff out a laugh. That won't be necessary. I will, if you ask me to. I cock my head, peeking up at him. Why? Like I said, I don't like the idea of you being upset. But why? His lips purse. It makes me feel unsettled, thinking about you being sad. Well, that's almost sweet. I can be sweet, he says. Sure you can. His head ducks down until we're eye level. I can be very sweet, Annabelle. Is this a sex thing again? His lips twitch. Not entirely. Then what are you doing right now? At the moment? His other hand lifts to let his thumb brush against my cheek. Comforting you. And why would you be doing that? Isn't it obvious? Not to me. Because I find you very enticing. I'm sure you say that to everyone. I've never meant it as much as I do now. I can feel my heart hammering inside my chest. My earlier melancholy of Kevin and all the things he said temporarily far away from my thoughts, with the close proximity of Bastien and his soft touch. You know, he goes on, I must admit that I was very glad that it was me you accidentally summoned tonight, Annabelle. I bite my lower lip. Really? I've been trying to get your attention for some time now. But you're always so bothersome. He grins. I like getting a reaction out of you, so I do it however I can. So it really was like a boy pulling a girl's pigtails? If you want me to pull your hair, you need only ask. He hums. I press my thighs together, feeling a throb there. Annabelle. Bastien half whispers. What if I asked to kiss you again? But you already got your payment. This wouldn't be for payment, he tells me. This would just be for me. And you want that? More than anything, he breathes, his lips inches from mine. Let me help you forget. And right now, I have to admit that sounds really nice. Forgetting. It would be beyond nice to just forget my cheating ex and all his unintentionally hurtful words and his intentionally hurtful actions. If I'm being honest, it would be even more nice to forget right here, with Bastien. What about that girl you were talking to? What girl? By the dance floor. She was pretty. Annabelle. Bastien shakes his head. There is no other girl in this entire town I want to kiss more than you. And I won't lie, I melt a little at that. Again, sue me. Okay, I tell him softly. If you want to. Oh, I want. He practically growls. I want many things. His thumb reaches to stroke my lower lip. But a kiss will do for now. His thumb presses against my lower lip, applying a gentle pressure. And then I hear the softest, open for me, pet. And for reasons beyond my understanding, or maybe I do understand, I just don't want to admit it, I do exactly what he says. Where his first kiss was measured, almost sweet, this one is anything but. It's hard and pressing. His hand grips my hip, and his leg slides between my thighs until his knee is holding me up against the wall. And I just melt into the sensation of his sweet tongue as it laps at mine. I can feel the barest press of his fang against my lip, and it shouldn't be so hot. It really shouldn't. But what it does to me proves that it absolutely is. I wrap my arms around his neck, fully giving into whatever this is, deciding that maybe for once I can throw caution to the wind and just take for myself. So I meet every thrust of his tongue with one of equal fervor, my lips crushed against Bastien's and my body zippered to his as he all but gropes me in Kevin's hallway. And it feels so good, his obvious want for me. It's something I haven't felt in, well, I'm not sure if I've ever really been kissed like this. It keys me up and turns me inside out, and yeah, Bastien could probably still smell how wet he's making me. I just can't find it in me to care at the moment. I weave my fingers into Bastien's hair, tugging at the silky, pale locks so that I can angle him to deepen the kiss. He groans into my mouth, a sound that only makes the situation between my legs, throbbing, pulsing want, even worse but I refuse to overthink it, just this once. I'm even half considering letting him do all the things he's been teasing me about. I'm considering letting him tug me into an empty room and sticking his tongue right where he... I'm breathless when he suddenly pulls away, his own breathing labored as his forehead rests against mine. The sudden stop of all the good feelings is jarring, and my body seems to revolt at the loss of his closeness. Why did you stop? Bastien huffs out a breath. Because it's becoming increasingly hard to control myself. But isn't that your whole thing? Since when do you ever control yourself? His lashes flutter open then, his blood-red eyes boring into mine. I want to be good for you. I blink back at him, feeling a little shell-shocked. For me? Annabelle, he swallows thickly. You have no idea how long I've wanted to. He shakes his head. I don't want to ruin this. And I've never seen him like this. So sincere, so worried over something as seemingly trivial as my feelings. But at this moment, I can sense that he means exactly what he's saying. It makes me wonder if Kevin was right. It makes me wonder if there's something here that I didn't see before. Bastien, Maybe we should get you home, he says thickly. Before I do something I'll regret. You would regret it? Not you, he says firmly. Never you. But I want to do this the right way. I don't want to pressure you into anything you're not ready for. I can't help it then. A grin spreads across my face. A chivalrous incubus? Half, he grumbles. Apparently, there's a first time for everything. My heart thuds away in my chest at the realization that he really is being sincere. That apparently, I'm something Bastien wants to get right. It makes me feel warm and tingly all over. Makes me feel a little reckless and a whole lot bold. I reach to grab the frills of his shirt, tugging him down to me. What if I said I wasn't ready to go yet? You're not? He looks confused. Well, we can certainly go out there and dance a bit more if you'd like, but I shake my head, cutting him off. That's not what I meant. What did you mean? I jerk my head to my right. That's Kevin's bedroom right there. What does that have to do with... Oh. Yeah. Oh. But you said, I thought... I love seeing him so flustered. It's a good look for him. Makes me feel powerful, knowing I'm the one making him this way. I press a finger to his lips, shushing him. Can you really make sure no one will stumble across us? He nods slowly. Yes. I push up on my toes, pressing another soft kiss to his delectable mouth. Then what are you waiting for? Annabelle, he rumbles. If you go in that room with me, I can't promise you I will be a gentleman. I flutter my lashes at him sweetly. And who says I want you to be? And maybe it's a little reckless, maybe it's a terrible idea. But when Bastien's arm swoops down to pull me up into them like some sort of bride on her wedding night, I can't find it in me to care in the slightest. For once, I'm happy to just take what I want. And to my everlasting, but honestly, maybe not so much, surprise, I seem to want Bastien. Who knew? Chapter 4. Bastien kicks Kevin's bedroom door shut, dropping me to my feet before he turns toward it and mutters some sort of incantation that has the doorknob glowing for a few seconds before sputtering out to its normal self. He grins when he looks at me over his shoulder. Now anyone who touches this doorknob will forget what they came here for and wander off. Neat trick, I tell him breathlessly. my heart still beating a tattoo against my ribs. He turns slowly, cocking his head as his smile becomes sultry. I can show you a few others. You should know, I tell him, clearing my throat. It's been a while. I know you're like some sex god or something, but I'm just... Now it's his turn to be pressing his finger against my lips, shushing me. Annabelle, I cannot tell you how long I've wanted to touch you. I promise you, there's nothing I want more. It's so weird hearing you say that, I admit. I thought you just liked tormenting me. His gaze softens. Maybe I just wanted you to notice me. I did, I breathe. Because let's face it, I was talking about him all the time. I noticed you. Another flash of his fangs. And why does that get me so hot? Well then. His sharp nails tuck under the hem of the corset of my costume, lightly scraping the soft skin beneath. Let's get you out of this. You first, I stammer, feeling shy. As you command, my pretty witch. He hums. He reaches to grip the hem of his frilled shirt that is looking less and less silly the longer he wears it, artfully pulling it up and over his head to reveal sculpted abs and a carved chest that I kinda want to lick. His pale skin begins to light up with the soft, purple patterns he usually has, crawling over his torso and up his neck to grace his cheekbones as he shakes out his hair. I figure there's no more use for the glamour here. I shake my head, loving the view. I'm good with that. He reaches for his pants next, unzipping them and shoving them down his thick thighs that are marked with more patterns. His briefs are black and tight, leaving hardly anything to the imagination with the way his thick bulge presses against the front. I can't help but stare at his hardening cock that pushes insistently against the fabric, my mouth watering a little as I feel myself becoming more and more turned on by the second. He's just so damned beautiful. Is that why I'm always so annoyed with him? He takes a step closer, skimming one pointed nail down the laces on the front of my corset. Your turn, I think. I nod back at him, watching as he lifts his hands to undo the knot at my throat, pushing the cape I'm wearing off my shoulders before he deftly starts to undo the laces of my corset. My chest is rising and falling heavily with each breath as I watch him work, my breasts heaving as I remember there's nothing underneath this thing. Something that seems to surprise Bastien when he finally has it undone and starts to pull the pieces apart. I wait patiently as he just looks at me. And right before I start to feel self-conscious, he lets out a slow, measured breath. Perfect, he murmurs. You're fucking perfect. I let out a little whimper when his fingers lift to roll one of my nipples between them, and I outright moan when he ducks his head to wrap his lips around where his fingers had just been. I grip the hair around his ears, only to find they're slightly pointed, something that's usually hidden by his hair, and something that also probably shouldn't make me so hot. Tugging him closer, in the hopes that he never stops what he's doing. You taste as good as I thought you would. He purrs. I yelp when he suddenly picks me up and tosses me onto the bed. Kevin's bed, crawling up and over me on all fours like a predator stalking his prey. Which is kind of what I feel like right now, but in the very best way. We don't have a lot of time, I remind him even as he starts to undo my pants. Someone will notice if we're gone too long. Fast now, savor later, he says. Later? Annabelle, he chuckles. If you think once will be enough to sate my hunger for you, you're sorely mistaken. I feel a flutter low in my belly, but Bastien is already kissing down my sternum, moving onto my belly as he starts to tug my pants and underwear down and off my legs. He pauses between my thighs to press his nose there, inhaling so deep that I might be embarrassed any other time. But the way his eyes roll back in his head, Like I'm something delicious? Kind of hard to be embarrassed after that. I want to put my tongue in your cunt and never take it out, he rasps. In fact, he grips my thighs and spreads them, leaning in close before flicking his eyes up to meet mine. Tell me I can taste you. Just a little. But time. We'll make time, he rumbles, watching as I nod back at him desperately. He immediately licks a hot, wet stripe through the crease of me, groaning so loud that I worry someone will hear him. Not that I can find it in me to care at this particular moment. Not with the way he sucks my clit into his mouth and laves his tongue over it. My back bows and my eyes roll back, and I squirm when I feel him lick lower, shoving his tongue inside me as if he needs to taste me straight from the source. I could do this for days, he pants, lifting his head to gaze at me with hooded eyes, his mouth wet with me. I'm practically panting when I say, next time? His smile is wide and bright. Next time. He crawls back over me, covering my mouth with his as I push at the elastic of his underwear to help him kick out of them. I feel a heavy thump against my abdomen, a sticky wet at the head of his cock, sliding against my skin as the heat of him makes me want to buck and writhe all at once. Bastien's hands slide over my arms and lift them then, pulling them over my head so that he can push them into the mattress with one hand wrapped around my wrists. I don't have a condom, he says mournfully. I had my potion this month already, I tell him. You can't get me pregnant. All's the pity, he murmurs, and when I arch a brow, kidding. He ducks his head to give me one more slow, heavy kiss before lifting his head. Tell me you really want this. And it's a little wild to me, knowing what my answer is. A month? No, even a week ago, I would say that the idea that I could be pinned down by Bastien, of all people, practically gagging for his cock, would be ludicrous. But that doesn't change the fact that my answer is still a resounding, I want you. And you'll have me, love. I glance down to take in the throbbing length of him, noticing that there are pale purple patterns marking him there too. It's kind of beautiful, really. Not that I have time to really appreciate it. Not with the way he's already nudging my thighs apart with his knee, using his free hand to pull one of them around his waist so that he can slot his cock against my entrance. He pushes in slow, ever so slowly, and I feel every hard inch of him as he fills me deep. His cock is so hot, so deliciously warm and heavy as it thrusts inside. My head tilts back and my lips part as I feel the same warmth filling me up throughout my body. And I know immediately that his magic is to blame for me being so horrifically turned on right now, but it's so damn delicious that I don't even care. That's it, pet, he coos. Take all of me. I nod shakily as my eyes shut tight, reveling in the sensation of him as he bottoms out. Everything is so warm and so full, and I don't think it's ever been this good. Not with anyone. And we've barely even started. I'm going to move now, love, Bastien murmurs. Are you ready for me? So fucking ready, I groan. That's my good girl. He draws back just as slowly, but his next thrust comes hard. I feel it throughout every part of me, hear it in the smack of his skin against mine. I let out a sharp cry that has me biting down on my lower lip, but Bastien is already leaning in, brushing a kiss there as he whispers, They can't hear us, love. My magic will ensure that. They can't? I ask breathlessly. Not in the slightest, he assures me. His blood-red eyes find mine then, a wicked gleam there. I want you to scream for me, pet. And then he really starts to move. I wrap my legs around him as his hips begin to roll, his cock thrusting in and out of me at a pace that has me jolting up the bed. Every draw and withdrawal feels like little sparks igniting inside me, his cock working literal magic as his pelvis slaps against mine. I moan out loud at the feel of it, no longer bothered by who might hear me. And Bastien's answering rumble is something I can feel deep down inside me. He's up on his knees now, one hand still pinning down my wrists as the other holds me by the waist to keep me still as he fills and fills and fills. The wet sounds of my pussy taking him ringing in the air of Kevin's bedroom. And there's a bit of satisfaction there too, knowing where we are, knowing what we're doing in Kevin's bed. But I'm so enraptured by what Bastien is doing to me, I hardly have the capacity to enjoy it. Almost like nothing exists but this beautiful demon and his magic cock. That's it, he says sweetly, his thumb sliding over my hip bone until he can roll it over my clit. That's my sweet little witch. You're going to come for me, aren't you? You're going to come with a demon's cock in you. I can already feel it building, that slow crescendo of sensation that starts deep in my belly and pulses between my legs. But it feels entirely too soon, like I haven't yet had enough of this for it to be over. Don't worry, Bastien says, almost as if he's reading my thoughts. You're going to come for me, and then you're going to go say goodnight to that horrible ex of yours while my cum is still dripping out of you. And then, when I get you home, I'm going to do this again. He leans in close, his lips by my ear as his thumb continues to tease my clit. And again, and again, and again. Every again is accentuated by a sharp thrust of his hips, his cock seeming to swell, seeming to get even bigger as I feel fit to bursting. I gasp when the tingling starts, when that crescendo starts to feel like a tidal wave washing over me, wondering how it's possible that I could have gotten here so quickly. It's definitely never taken so little in all the times I've done this before. I guess his cock really is magic. Bastien bares his teeth as his hips speed up impossibly faster, gritting out a rough, "Come for me, pet, come all over my cock." And as if his words are magic too, I do just that. I come and come and come, shaking like a leaf as my knees press tightly to his waist, holding him close to me as he continues to stroke in and out. I hear his breath grow choppy and feel his thrusts grow stuttered, a sharp groan falling out of his mouth when he finally slams inside and holds, a flood of heat rushing inside me as he empties. Bastien stays like that for a long moment, just breathing as he tries to collect himself, and then all at once he falls on top of me, releasing my wrists and letting his warm breath puff against my throat as his cock still throbs inside me. I feel his lips brush against my neck, his voice soft when he says, "Tell me that wasn't just revenge for you." And it should be, right? I mean, I shouldn't feel something for this half-demon who's done nothing but drive me up the wall for as long as I've known him. So why am I shaking my head? Why am I turning my face to press a kiss to his temple as I murmur, "It wasn't"? Because you like him, you silly witch. Best time you face it. He licks my neck. Actually, licks it. Good. Because I wasn't kidding. I'm going to need to do that at least a dozen more times this week. A dozen? I'm a demon, love, he reminds me. And I'm hungry. Half, I point out. Details, he says. Regardless, I'm afraid that now that I've tasted you, nothing else will satisfy. A slow, creeping smile covers my mouth as my chest flutters. Is that right? Unfortunate, but true, he tuts. You wouldn't want me to starve, would you? We definitely can't have that, I tease. Bastien groans then. I don't want to pull out of you. You're going to have to if we're going to leave this party. His head pops up and he grins down at me. I do love the idea of you telling your horrible ex goodbye with my cum dripping out of you. You're horrible, I scoff. You know what I think. I think you like it. I press my lips together, refusing to admit that. Let's get out of here. Bastien leans in until his lips are brushing against mine, a thoughtful hum escaping him. To your place, right? And as ridiculous as it may seem, as complicated as it might make things for me with the coven, I know there's no way I'm not taking this half-demon home with me. My place, I confirm. He smiles brightly at me, and I decide at that moment that I might do anything to make him smile like that. Like I said, sue me. Epilogue. 1 year later. We could skip the party, you know, Bastien grouses. I happen to know of a certain witch who would much rather spend the evening with my tongue in her. I whack him lightly with my punch ladle, getting his shirt a little wet. We're not skipping. It's our first time hosting since you moved in. Bleh. He sticks out his tongue. Have it your way. Did you call your mother? Yes. She's sorry she couldn't make it, he says, waving me off. She sends her love. I smile back at him. I could have never anticipated Victoria actually approving of my relationship with her son. But, as it turns out, I was the only one oblivious to my own feelings for the ridiculous half-demon who still annoys me to no end sometimes, even if I sort of love him. Bastien sidles up behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist and kissing my neck. I really could make skipping worth your while, you know. Maybe after, I say. Promise? Cross my heart. You know, you shouldn't make deals with a demon, he teases. We can be ruthless. Half, I remind him. Besides, a deal is what got me here in the first place. And I am ever so grateful for that, pet, he tells me sweetly. I finish stirring the punch, lifting one hand to cover his with mine as I give it a gentle squeeze. Thank you for doing this with me. Annabelle, he chuckles. There's really nothing I wouldn't do for you. You know that. And I do. Really. He's proven that much. There's one thing I have to know, though, he says, mirth in his voice. I turn my face up to look at him, arching a brow. What? I was just wondering. He grins, brushing his nose against mine. Did we invite Kevin? I bark out a laugh. Kevin may have never found out just what happened in his bed, but the memory of it has brought me great joy over the last year, making it incredibly easy to interact with him and his new wife, Greta. Which makes it all too easy to answer. We absolutely did. That's my good girl, Bastien chuckles. I shiver, knowing without a doubt that I'll be all over him the second everyone leaves. And given that I somehow snagged a hot half-demon with a magic cock and sex magic, who, as it turns out, is actually obsessed with me, I have absolutely no qualms with that. This has been Trick or Sweet by Lana Ferguson, read for you by Marcella Black.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, lady listeners. Thank you so much, Lana Ferguson, for letting us play Trick or Sweet. I just wanted to remind you guys, go get all of her books. Like I said before, I love The Nanny, Under Lock and Key, The Fake Mate. They're just all so damn good, especially Overruled. Like, if you want smutty out the gate, get that one. So good. The audio is fucking hot. I don't even know who the narrators are on that one. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to look real quick because you probably know them because they were so freaking good. Hold on. It's Samantha Summers and Connor Crass, Crais. What else has he done? My God, it was all really good. Anyways, so make sure you check those out. Her newest one, The Mating Game, comes out December 2nd. Check her Instagram page at Lana Ferguson Writes for details on how to get extra goodies for the pre-order through the Rip Bodice. And I think that's everything. Up next week, let me check that real quick. We have, I wish I could do a drum roll. Oh, it's Natalie Kenya. She has her book, How Maya Got Her Saison Back. So can't wait for that. So excited she's going to be with us. So come back next week.
All right.
That's it.
We'll see you guys then. Tell them what to do.
Fuck your day up. Make today your bitch. Don't be a dick.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Read me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. You could take a look at a book, that's fine. Or you could sit back, relax, and unwind and read